So, hey guys, Molly Karloff, how are you doing?
Good. I'm good.
Good. Um,
Oh,
do
great.
you
I,
do
I
you
can't.
want
I
to?
can't even
Oh,
hear anyone now. So I can
can
tell
you
you
hear?
what. I can hear you now. Sorry.
Okay, that's all right. Do you want to introduce yourselves just so as we know who we're talking to? Well, I know who I'm talking to, but for anybody that doesn't,
We don't know who we're talking to. I'm Simon from Molly Karloff, obviously.
and you are
I'm
the singer, aren't you? You sing the songs.
Yeah, I sing and guitar. So we're a three-piece, obviously.
Hmm.
Well, yeah, unless anyone was missing that we didn't know about. Yeah. So yeah, lead guitar and vocals.
Cool. And then Joey, I wasn't
I'm
sure if it
John.
was Joey or Joey.
It can be either. Do you say
Can
Bowie
it?
or Bowie?
Well, it depends what time of day it is. I
Yeah,
think I swap between, so you might get everything.
same deal. I'm Joey and I play the drums. And I'm Nico, and I do backing vocals and bass.
Awesome. So a bit of background to the band, I suppose, is a good place to start. Um, is it anybody's band in particular? Is anybody the boss of the band, or are you all equal? In... And is this going to be awkward?
Um, well, I know what the other two are going to say, but I'm the only long-standing member. Should we say that? I guess.
Mhm.
You're the leader. You're the leader.
Um, I've yeah, I'm the only one who hasn't been replaced, but yeah, I write most of the stuff as well, so I guess that kind of sticks me in that position, I suppose.
Yeah, yeah. And then, so when did Joey? When did you? Were you've not been from the beginning then, obviously.
No, that's right. I joined just before lockdown. Um,
Okay.
pretty
Oh
much.
yeah, it was, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, I'd
Uh-huh.
my other band had supported Molly in their previous incarnation, and I can remember watching their show and looking at the drummer and thinking I could do better than that. And then
I could
it was
replace
on.
him.
Yeah, but you
It
didn't
was
come up and say that at the time, did you?
well, how rude would that be
You
if
could have
I
just
went up and
come,
said you're good,
could have
but
come and just said, "Look, I like your set, but your drummer's shit."
it saved a lot of time. Hey, but yeah, Simon dropped me a message soon after and looking for a drummer, and I joined.
Cool. And
Yeah,
then Nico,
I didn't know
oh,
that Joe
sorry.
was a drummer at the time.
Uh-huh.
Because in the band he was in, he was doing vocals and guitar, so I had no clue that he was a drummer. I was just like on the scout for a drummer around, around Oxford,
Uh-huh.
Um, so yeah, it wasn't like we saw his drumming skills and we're like, shit,
Hmm.
let's get him. Yeah, he was
Plus,
keeping
I
he
play
kept
guitar like that.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
What, like
guitar
this?
with two sticks like this.
Yeah,
And then
Paddles.
yeah. And Nico, then so you're the newest member of the band. When did you join?
I joined in October of last year. Um, yeah,
So
replacing their long-term dep, who'd done a good service to the band. But yeah, I'd basically seen their advertisement and I chased them down and I was like, yeah, that's mine. That's mine.
that's what I was going to say. I suppose you do it through Facebook now, but do you remember in the old days how you got people to get your band, like was at the back of NME and various other sort of music magazines? Do they still do things like that? Nobody reads
Um,
magazines anymore, probably.
no, yeah, I think there are some classic rock still going, isn't it? And is Metal Hammer and Kerrang they're still going? Enemy's still going
Uh,
though, isn't it?
oh,
Enemy's
but I think it's rubbish now. I think it's
um,
just even worse than
yeah,
it ever was.
I don't know how they survived, to be honest.
No.
Yeah, when Nico applied, there was two other people from Newport that applied as well at the time. And both of them were put off when I said, "Look, we're up in Oxford. We rehearse in Whitney, but generally around Oxfordshire.
Hmm.
Um, so it's probably a bit too far for you to come because I think in the advert, I can't. I'm sure he specified Oxfordshire. I don't know, but
Yeah.
people.
South England and London, you put.
I did it. Oh, okay.
Right. And
Well,
where's
yeah. I mean,
Newport? Sorry, is that?
South Wales.
I was going to say, I mean, I'm Scottish, so you have to. I don't know what you're talking about most of the time. But right,
neither
so
do we. Yeah. So
okay.
he was in Newport, and
Uh-huh.
I did the, look, that's gonna be way too far to come. We had a guy traveling and it didn't really sort of work out before.
Yeah.
And yeah, the other two were kind of just like, yeah, you're probably right. When I sort of added the detail as to where we actually were, but Nico wouldn't take no for an answer. He was a persistent little. Oh, you don't want me to swear, do you? Anyway, he was.
We can insert our own words there for you.
Yeah. He was a persistent little fucker. There you go. Wow. Yeah, but when he, I guess because he came from so far, and we had got someone else who was literally down the road, and we thought was going to be ideal, except they didn't bother to learn the tracks properly. We really, put him through his paces just to, if he's going to come that far, he better be fucking good. Do you know what I mean?
Well, he must think he's all right to make that journey. So
yeah. I mean, to be fair, he was. That's why he's back now. Not because he blackmailed us or anything like that.
You just felt sorry for him because he travelled so far. So.
Yeah, that's right.
Come on,
and it turns out he's from around here anyway, and he apparently got expelled from around here by the previous MP. He's down to South Wales.
Yeah, David Cameron sent me away. He sent me the deepest, darkest Devon. Yeah, but no. Ironically, I went to school at the same school as Simon's wife.
All right.
Funny enough,
okay.
Yeah. We established that on the same day.
Now we know what's wrong with you.
Yeah.
Okay, so in terms of bands before, where did you all kind of come from then?
Oh Christ. Well, I've had more bands than I've had hot dinners, I think. Yeah, there's been loads of them where, there was one band I was in a few years back. We sort of rehearsed, went into the studio, did an EP, and I was so unhappy with basically the drummer that I left the band.
Always the drummer.
as soon as we came out of put it this way, I'm not a drummer and I could have done a better job.
Right, yeah.
So yeah, I left that one. There's been quite a few, projects, I would call them. They're not really bands, where things don't ever really get off the ground because either, there's so many reasons for stuff to fail. It takes a kind of unique set of people. I think that's why we ended up with a bassist all the way from Newport, because me and Joey just got sick of. How many auditions did we do?
How many bass players did we have?
Well, yeah, exactly. It's becoming like the Molly Karloff curse with bassists. Yeah, and there were some strange characters we auditioned as well. I remember this one guy came in he was all right, but he was just casually racist. And what we should have done really at that point is like not been so polite and gone, like, you're not going to work out, because something like that in this band is not going to work out, But he was pretty right wing, wasn't he, Joey? Ooh. Yeah, nah. But anyway, yeah. So it's quite hard to find, it's a very sort of, it's not just being able to play; it's being committed to doing what we do. Because there's quite a lot of sacrifice that goes on. And yeah, it's not, bedroom guitarists and bassists and drummers. There are plenty, aren't there? But not many of them ever make it in a band. It's So and that's I guess
it's pretty difficult as well, though. Just you want to try and select people who you think are going to be the similar sort of person to you, or a good sort of, not a match, but somebody that's going to get on with you. And I guess it's quite hard to get that from the very first kind of auditions.
Well, that's why he went for Nico, because they got matching beards. That's the look.
They can be easily photoshopped into the other person if needs be.
Oh, we've already done that.
Don't start with a photo.
We've already done that before we had the band photos. I actually have to send you them. I'm quite pleased with them. I took ages. When you get like into something, you go, I'm going to get this right. And I was getting all the lighting and everything right. It looked like he was actually there. The lighting was on his face, everything like he was there, and you wouldn't be able to tell. And then I did a version of Molly Karloff where it was just 3 Nikos.
It was ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous.
I've still got the photo. I'm going to post it online.
Balance, mate.
Oh, that's good. I like it.
Oh
Um,
God.
so what sort of inspirations do you all have? What are your musical tastes? Is Molly Karloff similar to what you listen to or not so much?
Um,
I think that's the beauty part of us is we all listen to everything.
Hmm.
We've all got a pretty
The
broad
snippets of a
spectrum.
lot of stuff, yeah.
Hmm.
yeah,
So
that was one of the problems we had when we first sort of got going. Is like promoters go, oh, name 3 bands that you sound like,
Yeah.
and when we sort of asked around amongst our friends, family, and that, have a listen. What do you think we sound like? Pick 3 bands that you sound like. There was no
Hmm.
consensus as to what we sounded like. In
Uh-huh.
fact, even now, you read reviews, and I think it depends on what that person listens to, as what they think you sound like.
Uh-huh.
Um, and that's good from we're not regurgitating the same old crap kind of point of view, but it's
Yeah.
bad from the point of view that people like to be able to put labels on stuff, don't they? So they can
Hmm.
understand it. And
Hmm.
they can't put a label on it. I don't know what they do. I don't know.
Hmm.
But yeah,
Look at this.
yeah, they are like they were. There was one guy that came on. We were on this tour with an American band, and so this guy had sort of come around with about 2 or 3 gigs, something like that.
Hmm.
And it would take him like 3 or 4 gigs before he came up to us in the car park after, and was like, "Oh, that was great. I've been watching 3 or 4 times. It took like 2 or 3 times till I got it." And I was thinking, I don't even know what that means, to be honest. I still don't know what that even means, but
But at least he was
yeah,
that was
persistently
awesome.
trying.
I now
Did he mean he
understand that
hated you
you're
the first
playing.
time? But well, he'll go
Yeah,
back. Maybe
I,
it'll get better.
I've always thought that our stuff was pretty simple and straightforward. I mean, we're a sound guy's dream. We don't have any backing tracks. There's no click tracks. There's nothing. It's just
Uh-huh.
turn up, get the levels right, and go. Our sound
Uh-huh.
checks are always really quick, and it's the same on the record. What you see
Hmm.
live is what we do on the record.
Yeah.
So it's nothing. There's nothing complicated to it at all. So I don't know. I don't know what there is to get. It's very
Yeah.
hard.
Uh-huh.
Anyway,
I mean, because I suppose the thing is, like, although your sound is similar through the songs, there's quite a variation in the kind of stuff that you produce. So maybe it's hard to pigeonhole exactly, where it fits in, but it just works. So,
yeah, it's whatever comes out of my head in the shower in the morning. It always happens in the shower, and then I run around trying to find my phone or something to
yeah.
sort of hum it into, or pick up a guitar or something like that. Yeah, I mean, there's lots of stuff that I mean, I write so much stuff that stuff just wouldn't make it into the band because it doesn't. I think we know what the Molly Karloff sound is,
Hmm.
and it's not a particular style or anything. It's it's hard rock, but
Hmm.
it's not any particular style within that genre.
Yeah.
It's more of a sound, I think, and I think almost if you did almost anything, it would sound like us. I think so. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I think as long as it's got a bit of like, then it's a Molly Karloff. That's the gist of it.
But not
Yeah.
too much, just the right
Yeah.
amount.
Just a little bit of.
Well,
I'd say
We don't do that in any songs. I'm gonna have to add that into one in the future, just for
often a
Joe.
great ending to a song. You stop and then you.
Do it in a really inappropriate place where it sounds really stupid.
That's your challenge for next live gig.
Like,
Get as many of them
that's
in
going to
as you
make it.
can.
It's going to make it onto the record. I'm going to send you the demo of it so that you get to hear it first.
I can have the
Where's the
exclusive.
librarian?
Yeah, our last gig had some librarians, didn't it? We got rid of them.
Yeah, we got rid of them. There were the shush police going on.
Yeah,
Oh.
they were noisy when we got rid of the shush police, but yeah, it was a bit of an odd one, wasn't it? Because normally noisy there, and they weren't having it. And we had what would you call it, Nico? You gave her a name.
The Constable of Bants, I
No,
think
it
it
wasn't
was.
that. It was Constable of Noise. That was it.
Yeah, Constable of Noise. I called her the
and she,
Constable. This lovely woman called Gaynor who responded to Helen the whole night.
well, the thing was, I asked what her name was, so she was sort of stood at the front, and she looked like a willing participant, you know, like
I
you
think she
pick
said
someone out.
hello.
Yeah, you pick someone out in the
That
crowd,
was enough.
and I thought, yeah, I'll stick her on the front of the stage. She can sit on the front of the stage, and she can kind of shout at people if they're not, you know, getting down, not
Yeah.
participating in the event. And I asked her what her name was, and somebody shouted Helen. So for the rest of the night, I called her Helen. But it turns out right at the end, she came up to me after we'd finished and said, "My name's not Helen."
It's
Gaynor.
Gaynor.
And I'm like, why didn't you say that in the first place? Why have you let me call you Helen all night?
Perhaps because she was called Gaynor, and maybe Helen's a bit of an improvement on that. Who knows? So talking about live stuff then, so what are you like on tour? What kind of merry japes happen in Molly Karloff on tour?
Probably not that different to anyone else. We're not I mean, I don't drink before I go on stage.
Uh-huh.
So if we're headlining, by the time I come off, when everyone is shit-faced, I'm one of the very few people in the room that are completely sober.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I will have a drink afterwards. It's kind of rare as well, because sometimes if you're driving that sort of stuff, not much happens to, you know. It's
Mm-hmm.
funny though, because I've been backstage at summer festivals and you know, in the green room,
Mm-hmm.
and everyone's drinking tea and coffee, and there's like a stack of beer that no one's touching because they're all, either everyone's driving or, you know, whatever.
Uh-huh.
I think most people aren't as wild as they try and make it. It's a bit of a cliche, isn't it? It's
Yeah. It's not all
but
throwing
Joey's
TVs out
known
of
for
hotel rooms.
quaffing the Merlot. Joey is known for quaffing quite a lot of Merlot, and he drinks it like that with his little finger out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Clarsy totes.
I do. I've had a few. Where were we? Manchester, I think, where there was some big old desperados in the fridge for us, and I had a couple. We were at a hotel that night. I would like to point out we weren't on the road again. But a few too many of those, and always regret it when I drink before we start.
I remember that one. Rather than packing up the gear, him and everyone else were just sat on the drums singing just stupid shit. No one was.
I don't know how to respond to that.
And see, even Siri was doing it.
I didn't know what that was. I was like, who's invited somebody else along?
Yeah, every now and then Siri just like
Yeah.
interrupts my conversation.
She likes to join in, doesn't she?
Yeah.
So going back to the album from last year then, it was amazing from a fan point of view, but did it go down the way you expected? Were you happy with the final results, etc.?
Yeah, I mean, I was happy with the final result. We managed to somehow, I still don't really know how it happened, to get Mike Exeter involved, and he kicked our asses all the way, particularly mine during the guitar sessions, which were at the time were quite stressful. I was talking actually up to some other guitarist friends and like telling them about how Mike used to make me literally rewrite guitar solos in front of him there and then. And I would really try really hard to go home that evening and then rewrite the solos, because he said it wasn't necessarily good enough, but it didn't quite fit in whatever way he wanted it to, thought it should fit. And then I come back in the next day with some rewritten guitar solos. So on some of the tracks on there, the guitar solos have been written 3-4 times. It's like the fourth iteration, you know. And it is kind of stressful having to sort of like write stuff in front of someone, especially someone who's sitting there. He never said anything like this, but you know, you're always aware that he's a man with a Grammy, you know. So you don't feel like you can kind of argue the toss like I perhaps might have done if it had been someone who I thought didn't know what they were talking about.
Yeah.
But yeah, the end result's been worth all the stress, blood, sweat, and tears, isn't it? The reviews have all been good. It's hard for us to say how well it's gone down, because all you hear is you're in we've spoken about this before. You're inside the band bubble, aren't you? Just
Mhm.
I don't know. Actually, Joey's. That's not Joey. Nico is the newest member. He's kind of still. You're as close to an outsider as you're ever going to be at this point. Ask Nico what he thinks.
Well, it got me to join you, didn't it?
I guess that's
Yeah,
semi-endorsement.
like Simon was saying before, because it's not something that I'd quite heard before, and like there's no genre necessarily that Molly fall under. It's just more of a sound that Molly
Mhm.
produce. It's like there's elements of grunge. So I don't know whether you put it in a post grunge sort of, and then you get other songs that are kind of groove rock, groove metal kind of tone. So there's a whole eclectic mix and match of different things. So like for me, I was just like, oh, this isn't like something that I've heard before necessarily. It's got like inklings of something that I hear. It's like the first EP that I listened to that I was going to do some of the auditions on is like, to me they were like new metal Mudvayne tones going on with like the slap bass that was going on at the time with the original bassist that was in the band and things like that. And then you got some Alice in Chain elements and then some Sabbath elements and then this like there's a whole mix and match. So yeah, to me it was quite exciting.
So you didn't were you aware of the band before you decided to audition?
So yes. I'd originally been in Shez Kane's project, but I left the project. I'd say towards the end of 2021, I left. So I spent 2022 sort of doing my own thing, writing some of my own stuff, and then I'd come across Molly online originally, and then just got in contact with Simon. We started talking. He sent me over some sneak peeks before the album came out, and I was like, "Oh, I'm into this." Like
He did
that's
make
my
that
cup of
noise as
tea.
well. He did make that noise.
Yeah. Ooh.
I was like, "Ooh, matron."
I was going to say it had a bit of what's his name, Kenneth. Anyway, I can't remember.
Williams.
Kenneth Williams. Yeah, that's right. Cool.
So, yeah.
Right, good. So at the moment, where are we then? Are we just living off the fame of the first album, or are you still writing? Are you doing new stuff yet? What stage are we at?
He's always writing. Simon's always writing.
Yeah, I probably I counted how many tracks there were. There was like I think it was like 5,500. I think it was. I mean, some of the stuff it's almost like random. You pick stuff out that's been written and work. I like working on the new stuff though more. So what tends to happen is if stuff was written and it doesn't get used immediately, it kind of disappears. In fact, we've I think there's been occasions where there has been songs that we kind of forgotten about because new songs come along and then those songs get dropped from the set, and then by the time like the album comes around. I mean, when we recorded the album, we had there was 23 tracks that we demoed, and we had to whittle it down to 10 because we wanted to keep it onto like one piece of vinyl. And me and Joey devised like a marking system that unless each track got a 4 or above out of 5, we binned it. And we managed to get it down to 13, and then we left it up to Mike, our producer, Mike Exeter, to bin off those final 3 tracks.
Was that quite difficult to let him make that decision? Did he bin off any that you were sure were going to be an absolute belter?
To be honest, I think I've kind of gone past the point of even knowing what will be an absolute belter, because some of the things that I know fans shout out that they want you to do for an encore, for example. You go, really? I can't even stand that track. So,
one of Simon's favourites that didn't make the cut of the album, he actually didn't even realise it, but he rewrote "Hip to Be a Square" by Huey Lewis and the News.
Fuck off. There was one track. Then Joey downmarked it, and it was we've got like she's not even a super fan. Is she? Alison Thomas? She is.
She's the furniture.
Yeah, she's been around so many gigs. She's like the furniture.
Yeah.
And she because she's sort of more like a friend of the band now, she heard some of the demo tracks. We were sort of trying to find a way of picking the best ones without throwing out ones that are good. Because we're in the bubble, we know that maybe our opinion isn't that great. And it was a track called Rain that she was actually her favorite, and she was livid that, that it got binned off. And it was all because Joey thought that it sounded, whatever that Huey Lewis. It sounded nothing like it.
It sounded exactly like it.
It sounded nothing like it. I played it to a few other people and go, what does this sound like? And then when I said, what about Huey Lewis and the News, Hip to Be Square? And they would sort of listen to it again and go, maybe at a push. And that's what I thought. But we said,
right, well, you release it as a single, and you watch the lawsuits roll in from
Mr. Lewis dropping into your inbox very quickly with his comments.
It was nothing like it. In fact,
still alive?
I think so.
We would definitely all know about it if he died. It'd be a day of mourning. Yeah, there you go. Back to the Future.
I wouldn't even recognise him. Anyway, because Joey's a massive Huey Lewis and the News fan, and he wants all our songs to sound like it.
I won't deny it.
He's always trying to slip in Huey riffs into them.
So then, just talking about things like that, then, who are your kind of biggest inspirations personally in music? Who did you grow up listening to? Or just everybody, as you said, you've quite eclectic.
Yeah, literally. I get very bored of stuff very quickly. Even when if you ask me who my favorite band is, it'll only be my favorite band for the next week or two, and then I'll move on to something else. I think that's why I didn't really. I mean, when I was a kid, I first started playing guitar because I heard Van Halen. They played me it when I was 13 or whatever it was. I was kind of blown away that you could make a guitar sound like that. So then from I don't know, the age of 13, 14, I was just playing Eddie licks and riffs and stuff. But then when grunge came along, I was massively into that. But even then, I wasn't just into that. So I was also into Slayer, Pantera. I'd even listen to stuff like Chris Isaac. And there was some jazz outfits. I was literally, I'd have to. I couldn't just listen to one thing all the time. Just do my head in. And that's still the same now. Sometimes I flip back to stuff I was listening to before, but it's short attention span, or I don't know, problem as well. I don't like the same stuff over and over again.
Do you keep up? Do you listen to your contemporary bands that you sort of go out and tour with and stuff? Are you good like that?
No, I'm not. Well, we listen to them when some of the bands you don't get to see or hear very well, other than like a muffled version from within the green room if you're on before or just after a festival, for example. I like hearing a band, especially if it's an original band. I like hearing them for the first time live, so I try not to listen to them unless someone says, "Do you think if someone's asking us, I don't know, for a sports slot, and they want to know, do you think you'd fit with these guys?" And so then I go and have a listen. But I do usually try and keep it to bare minimums. Go, I think this would be a good match. Yeah. Once I've heard them live, then I'll go and sort of check them out, on Spotify or whatever. This is going to sound bad. I think that there's a lot of bands around just regurgitating what's gone before, in all honesty. So I always hear other stuff in the bands. And I don't want to get overly critical of people because I'd rather watch an original band than a tribute or a covers band. There's been a few cases. Where was that band that was doing? We thought they were doing a cover of Belinda Carlisle's "Heaven on Earth."
Oh, that was HRH, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, it was. Yeah, we were watching. We won't say the name of the band or anything. But we were watching this, and Joey was singing the Belinda Carlisle lyric, and it was just exactly the same. And you sort of think, how have they got away?
Yeah.
And there's
They're
been a
just
few.
hoping there's not many Belinda Carlisle fans in that now, obviously. But
No, well, I think if they
There was
ever
one.
yeah. If they ever got famous or got big, then yeah, I imagine Belinda Carlisle's management would certainly take it
yeah.
to it because it was so obvious. There was another guy, there was another band I was watching, and I think they were an American band at a festival we did, and it was off the back actually. They did this medley of cover songs. Sorry, got hair or something now. This medley of cover songs. They'd taken two songs and sort of blended it together, and then they went straight into this next track. It was kind of weird because it was in the middle of their set, but and I thought, oh, they're doing David Lee Roth's "Just Like Paradise." Except when it came out of the verse, I thought, well, this isn't the lyrics. No, I thought maybe they've decided to change the lyrics up as well, but everything else was the same. And then they went into the chorus. It's like completely different chorus. It's like, hang on, is this the? And it was bizarre. And I had to go. Afterwards, I had to take a note of the name of their song, and I actually did a side-by-side comparison on Spotify. And I was like, how? How do they?
So they just take the tune and write their own words to it.
That's basically what happened. Yeah, you remember the Just Like Paradise, rocking steady in your daddy's car, you got the stereo, that line like that.
Uh-huh.
It was exactly the same. I was like, you're having a laugh,
Bit
I mean,
like Father Ted when they used the Eurovisions
Yeah.
here in a lift blip.
exactly that. So, like, what is going on?
Oh dear. Well, bless them if they thought they could get away with it, but they've been rumbled, so that's that now.
Well, Joey's really good at finding this out. I always fire stuff over that. Sometimes you write something and it sounds like familiar. You don't know why, and I'm suspicious that it sounds like another song.
Yeah.
And so you have to try and hunt down what song, even if it doesn't end up sounding the same, or it passes the plagiarism test or whatever they call it. I still have to know what it is, and it bugs the shit out of me if I think, oh, that sounds. I don't know what it is. It sounds like, and so we can't proceed with it if it. And obviously, if it sounds too similar to whatever it is you thought it sounded like, then of course you've been off.
Yeah.
But it's quite hard, because you hear stuff and stuff just comes out of your head. But Joey's quite good at going, oh, that's whatever track it is.
Yeah.
Apart from the case where he thought it sounded like Huey Lewis and the
Be a
News.
square.
And that's the only case where he's been completely wrong.
So you mentioned Spotify, but I was curious to ask because your album, the whole album's not on Spotify, is it?
No, fuck
was that?
Spotify.
Yeah.
Language.
Language.
F Spotify.
Yeah. So we wanted to leverage the whole Spotify algorithm to try and get more exposure, I suppose. The release radar and the other things that are available to artists on Spotify, you kind of lose all of that if you release an album all in one go, because you've just dumped 10 tracks on there, and you're not. So that's 10 opportunities at release radar, for example.
Yeah.
Plus, they pay nothing
Yeah.
on streams. So I figure, it's not like we're just starting out, or we went straight in with an album and no other material. There was already 2 EPs. We released 4 singles, is it? So whatever it is, 4 singles, maybe 5, I don't know. There's more than enough anyway for someone to come along and go, yeah, I like this, I'll buy the album. If they want. And they don't have to buy the CD or the vinyl. We'd prefer they did, obviously. But
although the vinyl is beautiful and very pretty.
Exactly. So. It's lovely in red. And
it's very nice.
They can pay to download the actual tracks. And although at one time you could do that on Amazon, Amazon don't do that. If you stick it up there for download, they also stream it onto Amazon Music. So I'm like, well, bollocks to that. I'm not doing that. I mean, eventually, the whole album will be out on Spotify, but that'll be when we have leveraged all of the release radars and the rest of it, and it'll drip feed. So it'll be another 6-7 months, or however many tracks there are, left. Well,
Yeah.
more than that, because I think we're releasing one on average about roughly every 6 weeks to 2 months in between, I think, at the moment.
Which I quite appreciate because, again, back in the day, it's so different nowadays. Like, you used to get one track from an album and then 3 months later you got the second track and then the album came out like 2 months later. And now, I mean, I'll just use South of Salem for their new album. But I mean, there was a new song just about every week, So within about 4 weeks, you've heard half the album. It just seems it's a very good album, but it just
Yeah.
seems a bit bizarre to me. But maybe that's the way it works better for bands.
I
don't
kind
know.
of feel like it's giving away the farm. And I started following a couple of sort of marketing experts online. I'm watching what they were doing, and it seemed to be working for them, and it seems to be working for us as well at the moment. So I'm
Yeah.
going to stick with that. I'm not, just going to throw it away. Plus, loads of people who backed us on the Kickstarter. We had a Kickstarter campaign to try and rescue the whole project because it was all going a bit wrong at the time.
Right.
So we raised a load of money on Kickstarter, and it kind of felt like, cheating people out of their faith in us as a band to produce an album by going, oh, yeah, you backed it and you've got the CD, but now you can get it for free on Spotify.
Yeah.
No, I'm not.
I know.
I don't. It didn't feel right,
Yeah.
So for that reason as well, that was the original reason we weren't going to do it. And then, but coincidentally, we came across the couple of guys and a few other artists that were following the same kind of marketing technique, but it doesn't involve. I mean, especially in the sort of dance music scene as well, where you can produce material a lot more quickly than you can with a rock band.
Yeah.
It makes sense to just. In fact, lots of artists now don't even release albums or even EPs. They just wrap them up into collections of playlists. I think the concept, if you're just going online for stream, the concept of an album is really something that it harks back to physical mediums like CDs and vinyl. And online, you kind of got to play by different rules. So that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
I think you kind of lose out if you try and force the offline format onto streaming platforms.
Yeah.
Plus, I mean, if they were paying us a decent amount, it might be a different kettle of fish, But
yeah, totally. Well, I'm still of the opinion. I mean, I'll use Spotify, but I buy my favorite bands merch and physical albums and stuff. I think these days you have to do a bit of both. You can't,
I mean, yeah, it's good for sort of checking out bands before. I mean, you can do what you couldn't do before. I mean, when I was a kid, I used to take. There was this shop in town where you could take back CDs and stuff that you didn't want and sort of buy them second hand. And there was frequently. I mean, I remember buying from a few bands. You getting off the back of one song, and then you hear the rest of the album. It's like, this is shit, and I just take it back. And for
after you'd recorded it on your TDK 60.
Yeah, of course, yeah. But yeah, that was always the risk you took, wasn't it? You listen to one song, oh, that's amazing, and then you buy it up. And there was lots of bands around that did that, wasn't there? So
yeah.
Hopefully we haven't done that with this one.
No.
Yeah, we did try.
No, I haven't sold the vinyl on yet. It's all right.
That's next week.
Yeah, well, yeah. Just keep it out of politeness till I've done the interview and get rid of that shit.
Good move.
No, only joking. So what about 2024 festival wise? I see you've got quite a few things already lined up, so that's quite exciting.
Yeah, don't ask me to list them. Joey, can you remember them?
we got an HRH, haven't we?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, we have. Yeah,
that's in March, is it? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and we got a Call of the Wild.
That'll be good.
Yeah.
I'm mildly raging though because I don't think I'm going to be there. And I forgot I was going to tell you this as well, but I was supposed to be at your launch gig. And then my very inconsiderate ex-boyfriend decided to break up with me after I was staying in Rugby. Where was it? Was it Nottingham? The launch gig.
Wolverhampton.
Wolverhampton, that's right.
Rugby's not very far away from Wolverhampton.
No,
we could have picked you up on the way. We go past.
Well, do you know, I wish somebody said, right, I'm just going to go and stay in Wolverhampton and go to the gig, because I was raging to have been chucked and also to have missed the gig.
So, well, you anyway, should have come to the gig, because then that could have been your consolation, really. And
It would have been.
you'd thought, why did I even bother having a boyfriend when I've got Molly Karloff?
I know. So anyway, so Call of the Wild will be amazing. Have you played it? You didn't play it last year because I would have seen you there.
No,
But
no, we didn't play it last year. We did Raz's other thing in the winter at what's that really cold place in Sheffield? Corporation.
Corporation. Yeah.
Mm.
It's cold even in the summer there, isn't it? I think it's just all the concrete.
Yeah. It's not a
Yeah,
very
we
pretty
played. We
town.
played there. Yeah, we played there. We played there in the summer for Destination. That was a bit of a nightmare for me. That one in Winter Rocks. That was it. I'm trying to remember the name. Because I had a migraine, and I nearly spewed up towards the end of our set because the
Oh my
pain was that
gosh.
bad. I was pumped full of pills trying to kill the pain. But it plays havoc with your stomach, doesn't it? It gives you like really bad acid. And
Oh
so I was
no.
suffering after that. And then I had to chow down a load of what are they called, those Rennie things. Yeah, the chalk.
Yeah. Like Gaviscon or
You were
something.
missing me,
to try and
really.
counteract the effect of all the headache pills. And I remember the only thing I could think of is that just don't spew up now, because all anyone will remember about Molly Karloff is the singer spewed up 2 songs from the end of the set. But I don't know how I managed to get through it. Thanks to all the security staff that helped lift all the stuff off the stage, because I must have looked rough because the stage manager got loads of people to come along and help lift all the stuff off the stage. I want to get to the end of the set and go that relief, like after I sang the last chorus of the last song, I was like, right now, because every time I sang, it was making it worse. And then getting to the end and thinking, thank fuck for that. That's the end. And then realizing that I was going to have to carry all the really heavy stuff. It's not what you want to do when you've got a migraine.
No.
But I turned around and everything had been lifted off for me, so that was a bonus. But
That's great.
I missed that show, didn't I?
yeah, why did you miss that show?
Because my throat.
Oh yeah, yes, yeah, you did, yeah.
Yeah,
So
I just had throat surgery.
Well, I honestly, Nico, I nearly didn't even go on stage. Even when we were about to go on, I was thinking, I don't know if
miss that man so much.
I was thinking, I don't know if I can do this without Nico.
Oh man, well that sounds awful. And I suppose the worst thing is then if you went off and spewed and didn't take the stuff off the stage, all the fans would just be like, he's a drunken diva.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? People think that whenever I go on stage, I've never drunk anything. I'll drink when I come off, but yeah. It's from when I did a gig when I was about 18 or 19, and it was a local gig, and the lighting technician sent me a video of the gig. And at the time, everyone who went there said it was amazing. We thought it was amazing. We kicked ass. It was great. Everyone loved us. Blah blah blah. And then I saw the video. It was awful. It was singing out of tune, bum notes all over the guitar. It was just diabolical. Any sober person in there would have thought this is a pile of shit. And from that point, I decided I'm not ever drinking when I go on stage, because what you think you're doing and what you're actually doing are two different things. So.
Absolutely. Right, we're going to have a quick fire round, and I won't keep you too much longer. So I need to know, fave drink can be non-alcoholic or alcoholic. Go, Joey.
Oh, Bengali spiced tea.
Oh,
what about the Merlot?
And Merlot.
Nico.
Did you
oh, sorry.
Tell her about the special bottle of wine that you did.
Oh, this a few Christmases ago, I made for all the boys. I drew a little label with a picture of us on, and called it Molly Karloff.
Yeah,
that was their Christmas present.
I've still got the bottle.
Oh,
that is a merch classic. I think you should get that out.
I know. We even went and inquired with some wine producers about getting it rebranded, but it was a right ball ache. Unless you knew you were going to shift thousands of bottles, it wasn't worth doing.
Yeah.
But yeah, if someone wanted to sponsor us to do that, By all means. You'd have to redraw the label though, Joey, because we haven't got.
Quick fire round, Simon. Quick fire round.
It's not quick fire. It's you and your Merlot.
Right, Nico, what's yours then?
When I did drink alcohol, it was the Sobrano. That was
Oh,
the
right,
devil's
okay.
the devil's drink it was. But no, I had coffee with vanilla spice or cinnamon spice. Hits the spot.
Fancy. Okay. Yes, Simon, yes. Yours?
I don't think I've got a favourite drink. It depends on what mood I'm in. Sometimes
Chai.
it's beer, sometimes it's cider. Never like the big brands though.
No.
And I do like anything kind of aniseedy if it's shot like fireballs or.
Oh, yeah.
Don't like tequila though. Hate that.
No, I don't like tequila, I have to admit. Right, we'll do another one. But favourite swear word? I quite enjoy this.
Cunt.
Good choice. Next.
I thought you said we weren't allowed to swear.
Well, I just won't put this bit on the radio. Like Ofcom might have something to say about that. Joey, what expletive of your choice?
I don't really swear very much.
Oh, you fucking liar! You do.
No, well, I only do because I want to feel like a big badass around you. But no, I'm not much of a swearer.
Peer pressure, is it?
Yeah,
Peer pressure. Are we forcing you into swearing?
No,
Go
I'm
on,
a nice
go on,
boy,
swear.
Molly.
Be a big boy. Go on, go on.
If you swear all the time, you got nowhere to go when you're really angry.
No, you definitely have.
You know, well, that means I'm really angry. If you've heard it before, that's my answer.
Okay, Nico.
Fuck, because it's very versatile. Doesn't matter where you go, it works. Fuck off.
Yeah, it's the old thing about it can be a verb and an adjective and everything.
Yeah.
Can't it? It's awesome.
Yeah, she was fucking excited. She was.
You fucker.
And famous favorite comedian, if you've got one.
Ooh. Do you know Emo Phillips?
No, I know the name. I don't think I know. I don't think I've ever sort of watched.
Wasn't he one of the Muppets?
Gonzo. Actually, yeah, Gonzo. I'd probably say Emo Phillips right now.
What kind of is he like stand up or?
Yeah, he's a stand-up. He kind of, I don't know if it's like actually him or if it's a persona, but he kind of talks like this and moves around and plays with his hair. Yeah, he's so funny, really clever.
I must just say something, Joey, and it's been bothering me the entire way through this interview, but you sound a little bit like Michael McIntyre.
Because we're
like,
Oxford
Oh,
boys.
this is
that where he's
Nico.
from?
Nico, you know what we've got to do now, don't you? Next gig,
Yeah.
gig, in the van all the way there.
Michael.
In fact, Joey, you're
you
going to
ever
have to
so
do your
much.
Michael McIntyre impression. You know, like he got Alison's laugh down. You've got to do that.
I just watched that wee clip today, actually, just while I was getting ready, because I remembered you posting saying, "Does anybody want to watch the thing?" And then obviously I don't know where I wasn't there, but that looked quite good fun. Bit of live streaming. Did you do any live streaming through COVID, or was that? I can't remember.
We did Kiss and Make Up.
Yeah. You missed out on Joey's Kiss and Make Up. Well, it wasn't really live streaming, was it? It was pre-prepared japes.
Cool. Okay. Can we still get this on catch up?
We're going to commission. Joey wants to commission a new series, don't you, Joe?
I do something else though. Kiss and Make Up was it was like a makeup tutorial show. Simon asked me to do it, so we had some stuff for fans because I wear makeup on stage. I said, I don't know what I'm doing. My makeup's like Sharpie and stuff. It would just be a joke. He said, do it. So we did. But I'm sick of that now. It's time for something else. I want to do a show about ghosts or something.
Well, the Happy Mondays did.
Can I play a ghost?
The Happy Mondays did ghost hunting one time, and I thought, what a cracking idea for a program that is.
Yeah, go for that.
Yeah. I've forgotten where we are now. Oh yeah, so comedy, Nico, any comic icons for you?
Jethro. I love a bit of Jethro.
Right.
And Denzel Pemberley.
You like doing the accent, don't you? I get this feeling.
Yeah, go love it. Don't suggest it. Don't suggest.
What about you, Simon?
Stuart Lee.
Oh yeah.
And I'm really shit at remembering famous people's names.
I want to add James Acaster to my list. He makes
Oh,
Oh,
James
yeah,
Acaster
yeah.
is banging.
There's a what's his name? He's got a he's Scottish, big beard. Oh,
Billy Connolly.
No,
not Billy.
Kevin, Frankie Boyle.
Frankie Boyle. I love Frankie Boyle. He just like pushes
He's
the way.
brutal.
Oh,
He's
Funny.
brutal.
I think I like people when they're like really brutal. So I like some of the stuff like that Jimmy Carr does.
Yes.
And I like Ricky Gervais's stuff.
Yeah.
Frankie Boyle kind of just like he just goes over the edge. That's what like tips it for me.
Well, he goes over the edge and doesn't stop.
No, and that's what makes
Yeah,
it funny.
exactly.
He doesn't give a fuck.
No, not at all.
And I especially like his very good posh Southern English accent, which makes me laugh my head off.
Does anybody like I'm Alan Partridge? Just asking.
Yeah, I liked the. Do you remember the everybody's a bit of a cunt sometimes? I like that song the best, for obvious reasons.
Indeed. Right, I'm not going to take up too much more of your time. Anything else to report?
There's been a report recently that we're fucking amazing. That needs to be reported.
Actually, I need to report that Nico, you left your hat around my house the other day.
Hey
I'm
man,
just look after this for you until.
hey man, why you take my hat for, man?
I just keep an eye on it for you, yeah.
Oh my goodness, lovely. Quite understated that as well. I like it.
Yeah, I'd like to report that I murdered an orc and I kept his head as a
Has
trophy.
he got a Molly Karloff hat on as well, or is that
No, but he's got some beautiful in-ear monitors and a beanie, and yeah,
awesome?
there we go. Stay there.
Right.
That's the news of the day.
That is the news hot off the press. That's all right.
Yes.
Good. Okay, well, I'm going to let you go. Thank you very, very much for that. And
Thank you for having us.
hopefully catch you somewhere out on the road. Can you come to Scotland, please?
It's being worked on. I promise you, it's being worked on.
Then that's good. I love it.
If James in Sheburns Red can pull his finger out as well and help in the cause, then
Oh, really?
yeah,
I'll message him.
Tell him
I'll
because you're
tell
probably
him.
nearer to him than
Yes.
I am.
Yes.
I've had 3 or 4 words with him about that, and he goes, yeah, that's a great idea. Well, he doesn't say it like that. He says it with a Scottish accent, obviously, but
Yeah,
well, he says
and
it was
East
me
Coast
looking up at him
Scottish
like
accent.
this. I have to look up at him because he's fucking massive.
He is absolutely ridiculous, tall.
Yeah, I was stood at the back. I went and saw them in Wolverhampton, and I was stood at the back with him because he was about the only person I knew there. So when he wasn't on stage, I had someone to talk to. When they were on stage, I was like Billy No Mates. But I couldn't even like get close to hear what he was saying, and we when the bands are playing because he was fucking right up there. But we did establish that yes, we should come and I don't know support them up there or something like that. But he's dragging his heels. Maybe we should speak to their manager, Raz.
Get Raz, yeah. But I'll message him tonight and just be cheeky and be like, I can't wait for.
I think you should.
Totally. Oh, well, that's good news. I'm excited about that because they just blew the roof off Rockmantic at the weekend as well, and it was absolutely brilliant. So
yeah,
that will be a great night.
We had someone come down to our VIP Kickstarter. We put on like a party for everyone because we hit the target sort of thing. And we had a whole family come down from Aberdeen down to not even Oxford, it was Whitney, wasn't it? Sean Bruce and I can't remember the rest of his family's names, his 2 daughters and his missus. And I was like, what the fuck? All that.
I know. Coming all the way from Aberdeen. Were you telling me that because you thought I might know them because Scotland's that little that I would.
Yeah, I was thinking, you know them, but they're the only people in Aberdeen.
Oh, Bruce. I'm like, yeah.
No, I was telling it on the I think there's to date still the farthest anyone's come to see us play.
That is
So,
pretty impressive.
yeah,
I
I'm
mean,
impressed with that because I wouldn't do that for anyone.
well,
Honestly.
and you don't get many bands playing Aberdeen, I have to say. Like, you'd have to travel out of Aberdeen if you wanted to see pretty much anybody. So that's a long journey.
Yeah. Well, you just
Yeah.
look at it on a map. It's like it takes hours just to get down to Glasgow, Edinburgh area.
Yeah,
Like,
totally.
I bet
Oh,
you get
well.
your fill of Bad Actress, though, huh?
Well, no, I don't know. I've never seen them. I know of them, but I've never seen them.
Oh,
Where are they
gosh, yeah.
from? Edinburgh.
No, they're from near.
Oh, Nairn. Oh, Nairn's lovely. But again, not many bands. You know, it's not Glasgow, Edinburgh, London, and Nairn, is it ever on a tour set? No. Okay.
London, New York, Paris, Nairn.
Nairn. Maybe that's you. You should go to Nairn. Go on, get that on the billing as well. But do Glasgow as well. So
I don't even
not
know
going to
where that
Nairn.
is. Joey
Fine,
knows the
Inverness.
band, I think. You don't. Well, how come you were like so in with Bad Actress? I can't remember what the story was.
I just think they're fantastic.
Oh, okay. I thought you knew them or something.
Oh, I've hung out with them a little bit, but
Oh, well, because you were acting like you knew them, and when people are talking to each other like they know each other, I thought that they knew each other, and that's why they were like best buddies. So yeah, obviously not.
Just fanboying. Just a little bit of fanboy. It's all right. It's allowed.
Fanboy Joey. Yeah.
Right. Well, guys, that was lovely. Thank you very much. And all the best. I'll see you in Glasgow at some point with Sheburn Shred. I'm a way to abuse him on the text.
Indeed. Speak to James. It's
Yes.
all on James now. We've firmly batted the ball into his side of the court. We're waiting for him to respond.
Yeah. Well, I'll definitely go on to him. That'd be good. Okay, chaps. Thank you very much. And
Later.
take care. Speak to you soon.
Right.
Bye. Bye. I can never hang up. I never know where's the button.